So welcome to this Lighthouse Sketch tutorial. Now we're going to be taking this wonderful photo here as a reference image, and we're going to be creating this sort of punchy little watercolor sketch really. It's not exactly the same. We're going to be sort of moving elements around a tiny bit, but to start with we're going to be sketching in with some grey fine liner. Now grey fine liner is not something that a lot of people use, but I quite like the fact that you can put in a lot of lines, and when you come to put the water on, the lines aren't quite as dominating as they are when you use black. So really it's sort of like line and wash light, if you know what I mean. The other equivalent, I guess you could say, is it's a little bit like using pencil. So as you can see from the reference drawing, I've moved some elements around a tiny bit in this image. What I've done is I've moved the lighthouse closer to the end of the breakwater, and that means I can actually make the lighthouse a bit bigger, and it all sort of fits on the page a little bit easier. What I'm doing is I'm just putting in a couple of dots here and then drafting in very roughly the sort of shape of the lighthouse. Now I know this isn't wholly accurate. It really doesn't matter. These are little sort of poems. These are sketches, you know. These are not accurate photorealistic drawings. That's not what we do really on this channel, to be honest with you. It's all about the process. It's all about having fun, relaxing, and just enjoying the creation. So really we're just looking at getting the basic forms now. I'm looking at creating a silhouette of the lighthouse, and then I can go back in and sketch within that shape. There's a couple of windows that need to go in, and then a doorway. And then really it's just a case of looking at the texture of the breakwater and thinking about how you can tell that story with just line work alone at this stage. So if you'd like to win this little original drawing and have this on your wall, then stick to the end and I'll tell you how to do that. So the rest of the line work that's going to be put in here is mainly just the sort of rocks area. I have introduced a kind of beach part a little bit further back. Now looking at these rocks quite closely, they are artificial sort of cylinders, I think, that are dropped in, but there is a little flat section that you can just see on the reference drawing. But remember, when you're drawing textures like this, it's really nice to sort of tell the story, but don't feel you have to draw every single line, every single rock. You're just trying to really describe the slope, and you're really just trying to sort of describe some of the textures really. So the brushes here are just simple brushes. We've got a number 8 and a number 4 round, just cheap synthetic brushes, nothing fancy. You know, if you're just first getting into watercolour, don't feel you have to spend a lot of money on expensive squirrel brushes or anything like that. So here I'm going to put a wash just over the sky area, but I'm just trying to show you how you can introduce quite a lot of water, particularly onto sort of cold pressed paper that's got a bit of a texture, and then you can use that bead. And then you can sort of chase that bead down the paper. So you create a bead, you have to tilt the paper up towards you a little bit, and you create a bead, and then you use that bead to run down the page. So initially I'm looking at just creating the really light bit of the picture, and I know this isn't a true representation of the reference drawing because there's a lot more going on that reference drawing in terms of sky detail. And one of the disadvantages with working quite small is that it can get very fiddly if you're trying to show a lot of the sky detail. So really, this is more of a kind of truncated version, if you know what I mean. I want to get a feel for the sky, but I'm not completely copying what's there, if that makes sense. So I'm introducing some yellows, and this is a Hansa yellow, which is a primary yellow, and then on top of that, and then just into that, I'm introducing a little bit of transparent Pyrrole orange, and that just sort of warms up some of the sort of upper areas. So here I'm adding in some Indian thorn blue and a little Van Dyke brown, and that's going to create some blues and some greys, but I'm not really mixing it massively in the palette. I'm sort of mixing it a little bit more on the paper, and that's going to give you a little bit of colour variation. This paper is actually rather textured, so you are going to see that sort of denim effect in the sky. So another thing I'm doing here is I'm sort of trying to introduce some little wisps of cloud really heading up into that darker area, just to add a bit of interest really. So I'm drying the brush off, and I'm going to use that to sort of remove some paint. So I'm dabbing the brush, you can't see just a little shot, on some tissue paper to dry it, But then I want to actually sort of reincorporate those areas there and try and reintroduce a little bit of that yellow, so that the wisps come from the yellow up into the darker area, if that makes sense. And I have a little bit of a pigment blob there, and I'm trying to just remove that a little bit so it's not quite as distracting. So again, I'm going to put a little bit more yellow into that wisp because it looks a bit too pale, really. So I'm introducing a little bit of colour from one area to another and just lifting it up a little bit. So really, that's our sort of first layer, and then I'm going to use a hairdryer and just dry that off so that we can go in and start adding in some more details. So I'm sorry about the placement of the picture here, it's gone a bit low. But what I'm doing is I'm using a little bit of, again, that my orange from my transparent Pirello orange, and maybe mixed with a bit of red oxide. I don't know, there's a little bit more brown in there too. And I'm starting to add in a little bit more cloud detail. So again, I'm building from light to dark here. So I'm not actually looking very much at the reference image so much at this point. You know, I'm kind of making it up a little bit as I go along, and I quite like to do that. You know, I quite like to use the reference images as a starting point, but often I think sometimes a picture will take you a little bit on its own journey, and that's quite fun too. So I've got some smaller clouds further back, and I wanted to go in with some sort of brighter colours towards the horizon, as if the sun has already set, but you still see that slight sort of afterglow that you get. So as we come a bit further forward, or, you know, higher up in the sky overhead, some of those cloud details are going to get a little bit bigger. I wanted to sort of knock back some of that blobby area on the left hand side and sort of soften it off a bit, so I've added a bit of clean water around there. Okay, so I'm looking at it now and thinking, you know, what else do I need to do here really? Well, I guess the next stage is going to be to really add in some water or some sort of slightly darker details. And I think what I decided was that the sky was just a little bit too pale towards the top, and I wanted to add in a bit more depth, a bit more body to it. So I've just gone for it. I've just whacked in a lot of pigment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in quite neat pigment, you know, some quite strong pigment. And this is again the Indian Thorn blue mixed with, I think, a bit of, this is similar stuff that I mixed before with the Van Dyke brown. And what I'm doing is I'm blobbing it in, and then I'm going to use some clean water and soften off some of the edges, because I want this to appear like a layer in front of what's already there, because obviously one of the things you know about watercolour is when it dries, it loses a lot of its impact. It can go a little bit soft. So I just wanted to inject a little bit of depth, you know, a little bit of feeling back into that sky. Now, I'm not 100% sure this worked. It was really fun to do, and that's, I guess, is the most important thing, isn't it, at the end of the day? Skies, you know, are funny things. You know, sometimes you can do 2 or 3 splashes across a piece of paper and it just sinks, and it just happens. Sometimes it can feel overworked and a little bit laboured, and I think it can lose a little bit of its vitality. So they are perhaps some of the more challenging, if not the more kind of hit and miss part of watercolours, I think. In some ways, line work, you know, is the maths behind a line and wash type drawing, you know, and watercolour is often the sort of magic, you know, it's the fizz on top. And I think I get a sense when I'm doing watercolour, when I'm really having to work for it, and I feel it's losing a little bit of that magic, a bit of that transparency. And I think here it kind of is a little bit, but it's still a lovely balance between that really rich dark pigment on top and then that lovely paleness towards the bottom. and that's going to rebalance, hopefully, the image a little bit. So I'm just doing those bits around the top of the lighthouse. I think I might do a few little details just around the windows and a tiny bit around the door, and then I think that's pretty much done. Now you could go in here and add some details into the rocks and things, but you could go in and add quite a lot of details here, you know, some of those darker areas around the rocks. So, seeing as I have the pen, I'm going to do some fiddly little final details. Like often with my drawings, it's difficult to know when to stop, because you could keep experimenting and playing and adding different media and doing all sorts of stuff. But sometimes you reach a point where you just think, you know, it feels done. So if you'd like to have this little piece of original artwork in your home, all you have to do is 3 things. Just like this video and subscribe to the channel, and just put a comment down below that says I love this lighthouse, and I will choose, about a month after this video has been released, I will choose a winner and I'll be posting that off to someone somewhere in the world. Thanks guys.